the expert of burgers with more than 40 years experience in burger making. And yes, he knows his stuff.
When I find somebody who says yes, I actually do a little song and dance and say yes.
If you want to hack it, what can you do?
You start with lettuce. Why?
A burger is a game of textures.
Yeah.
It's a game of flavors and it's a party in the mouth.
Mozzarella deep fried with breaded. Where's the burger? Where's the beef?
Welcome to another episode of Burger Unscripted. We talked meat, we talked burgers, we talked patties, we talked buns, we talked lots of things. And burger, all unscripted. There's no grill, there's no grilling, there's no food, and we're not gonna have burgers, but we're gonna talk about burgers. With Ramzi, my dearest friend, the expert of burgers with more than 40 years experience in burger making, and yes, he knows his stuff. Let's talk about the perfect burger. Burger, as you see it, condiments, ingredients. I'm تبلع بريقك. Yeah, tell me about burgers.
I'm hungry after all this talk. Burgers. So the condiments. How important to you are condiments to a burger, and does it matter? What do I mean by does it matter? Does it matter if you're having a gourmet burger, if you're not having a gourmet burger, a fast burger, all the categories that we talked about? Does it matter? Does it help? Does it not help?
If it needs to be a burger, it needs to have all the condiments. If you want to turn it into a gourmet burger where only patty and bun, and I've had quite some that are amazing, amazing. Oh, I need to remember where, but I've had ones that are $40, $50 each, where it's a patty and a bun loaded with butter, toasted on the grill, and you would eat it and say, okay, whoa, wait, is it a ribeye? Is it a steak? Is it what's happening? So back to the original question: if it is a burger, it needs to be complete. And a burger has condiments, and the condiments are what made an American burger what an American burger is. So, and each one of us has a different way of putting it into. So let's talk about the burger. So now today we're going to talk about the burger itself, all the way from the bun and all the varieties of the buns, all the way quickly about the patties and all the varieties of the patties, and what would you put into a burger, and probably all the other varieties like the Oklahoma one. SYOTG, see on the grill, has been made famous by creating that or selling that one item. The Oklahoma burger. Let's start by this one.
Yeah, the Oklahoma burger, famously brought to life by George Motes himself. Hamburger America just opened up last year in New York. Fantastic place where he pays homage to all of the burgers around the U.S. So the different states and not just states, but let's say regions have particular burgers to them, assigned to them. And he does a burger of the month, paying homage to them. But what's constant is his Oklahoma fried onion burgers. Fantastic burger, in my opinion. As we said earlier, it's a smash burger, and it's got cheese. It has the onions that are smashed into the burger on a toasted bun, usually a potato bun. Minimal condiments when it comes to that, because the onion acts as the condiment. That's the claim to fame to it. You don't need to add a lot of stuff. You can add a little bit of mustard, which it's like a taboo here in the UAE. Whenever I say, do you want mustard? They all say no. When I find somebody who says yes, I actually do a little song and dance and say, yes, you understand. So mustard, I like mustard. Mustard and a pickle on the side for you to enjoy. That's really the Oklahoma fried onion burger. Going into buns, we touched a little bit about buns. Buns, there are different types of buns. There's the traditional bun that you get at the supermarket. You've got a potato bun, you've got a milk bun, and you've got a brioche bun. The difference in those are texture, taste, butter content, and how it actually acts with the meat, with the burger. For me, the potato bun is sort of king, and you mentioned this, I think, earlier in one of the episodes, Martin's. Martin's created this, and let's say, not created it, but it really pushed it forward. They're a beautiful, beautiful potato bun that has the right, I call it squeezy reference, or squeezy scoring card or whatnot. So if it's soft and squeezy, it can play well, but at the same time, it has to hold up if you have condiments. What you don't want is to have the bottom bun full of juice, wet lettuce, not gelling together, and it falls apart. Because when we try to bite it, the whole point of eating it with your hands is that you can actually eat it with your hands, not it falls all over the grain, then you start doing it with a fork. So it's very important to have that. And the crust on the bun toasting obviously helps a little bit. But once that liquid gets through that, it's over. Do you have a preference in terms of bun before we talk to each one? Like, do you have a preference of what bun do you like, or do you equate it and like tag it brioche for this for this, or it doesn't really matter?
I like it to be fluffy. I like it to be soft. I like it to be airy on the inside. I like it to be tender. I like it to be not chewy. I like it to be not like a spongy. And all of this can be achieved while being a normal bun, a potato bun, or a brioche bun. And most importantly, I don't like it to be sweet at all. And sometimes when I eat a sweet bun, I say, okay, wait, why the sugar? Why that added sugar? We all agree that you need sugar anyway for the coloring and for the activation of the yeast, but not turning it into a sweet bun. I'm not eating a donut here.
Pastry or something.
What people need to know about is when you say potato bun, it's not 100% potato. So the potato is probably up to 20% of it, and all the rest you would still need to have flour, you would still have to need lots of other ingredients. What the Martin potato bun managed to create is an international acclaimed, exported to all across the globe, frozen yellow bun that looks smooshy, spongy, soft, tender, not yeasty, and yet manages to hand everything in between, giving an additional flavor to the condiments without covering and empowering on the beef taste. So what is a bun for me? A bun is something that needs to be super fresh, if not made the same day, removed from the freezer the same day. So sometimes you go to a place and you eat a bun and say, it's chewy, it has been done yesterday. This doesn't happen if it's frozen well. So sharp frozen, blast frozen, and removed the same day. And this is what happens at McDonald's and everywhere else in between. And if you want to manage around it, if you want to hack it, what can you do? Put butter on it and put it on the grill. What does the butter do? The butter does two things, and very important things. If you use good quality butter and you cover the bun with the butter, that butter is going to be evaporated and absorbed by the bun from in to out, and then it softens it. Two, it creates that layer of flakiness, light crispiness, that one would hold it all together and gives it an additional flavor in the mouth, a buttery, nice feel. But you need to understand that depending on what are the ingredients of your bun, buttering it will over butter it or under butter it. So if your bun is a brioche bun that already contains lots of butter, adding that butter to it would be too much.
Overkill.
And if it's not buttery, if it's potato, so you need to understand what's happened. Some would say, okay, butter. No, it's not about the butter. It's not adding an additional flavor to it. It's scientifically reacting, working with the bun to elevate the bun to have a better flavor, different flavor and different texture. So using and how to use the butter is something very, very important. Last but not least, we in our culture, we probably misknow that butter needs to always be in the fridge when it's not. So butter can be next to your grill all day long, liquidy, harden at the end of the day, re-get liquids at the end of the next day. So why do our moms put butter in the fridge? I still need to know why.
Again, one of those myths that happen passed on from generation to generation. Absolutely, butter is in France. It's out and it's ready to go, ready to spread. One additional thing I would add to the butter that seeps in from bottom all the way up is if you just put a dome on it for a couple seconds, you've created that sort of steam effect that really helps it get tender and gives you that feel that you're looking for. So what about a milk bun? Sorry, what about a milk bun? Are you exposed to milk buns? Do you?
They're very close to brioche ones.
Yeah.
Less sweet. My preferred ones are milk buns if they're well done.
Hockey do.
Again, not feeling that sweetness, and I like it usually when the buns have sesame on top.
Okay, so you're a sesame fan. Yeah, going back to the Big Mac, it's sesame. For me, it's. I haven't thought about it until now. I don't have let's say strong, like if it's not sesame, I don't eat it. If it's this or I ask for it. The way it comes, I'll eat it. Sesame, non-sesame is fine for me. So I think that's good because then I get the best of both worlds.
What are the best condiments to be put into a burger? So let's talk about condiments and how they have been adapted along the years.
Yes. So we know the classic. So the classic burger: lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions. Onions can be raw, could be grilled, could be caramelized. That's kind of the classic takes on it. Of course, you got ketchup, mayo, mustard. How it evolved, you can start putting things that we said earlier, truffle. You can make the lettuce shredded or not shredded. I am a big fan of non-shredded. I don't want to bite and have things coming out. And I have a pet peeve of the curly Shake Shack style lettuce that goes out like wings, like a butterfly. I can't stand that. I tell my guys, fold it, let it be crunch, and you have a nice iceberg, and enough to have lettuce. Sometimes they just put one leaf, and you don't taste it. So fold it on top of each other. If you need two, go ahead and put two. Those are sort of the classic ones, but like you said, it evolves. For me, I enjoy lettuce. I enjoy tomato. I enjoy a pickle, and I enjoy red onion if I have a choice. A thin red onion. I don't want to overpower onion in my palate. But I also enjoy without lettuce and tomato because I don't want the lettuce to wilt and almost get, like, warm lettuce does not do it to me. When you talk about a salad, the salad has to come straight from the fridge to my plate and I eat it. I don't, at home, we were talking about moms. Remember when you, sufra, what's it called? Like a spread. The French fries is already there at 10 o'clock in the morning. The guests are coming at 4. You have this beautiful French fry. Why, Mom, why? You have the lettuce and everything on. I'm just like, come on, guys. I hated that. But that's what I don't want. I don't want to recreate that feeling. The nostalgic, 100%, because as I said it, you understood that. So sometimes, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, back in the day, there was something called a McDLT. Look it up, McDLT, McDonald's. They had a shell, hot and cold, and they had the burger and the bun on one side, and on the other side they had the lettuce, tomato, and pickle, and they shut it. So you take it and you put it on there and you eat it. I fell in love with that. It didn't do well, apparently. I don't know what it was, cost of the packaging. I think actually it had to do with the packaging. But that, to me, is how I'd like the burger. If it's done, and I eat it right away. But to order it, delivery, which is another topic, with lettuce and tomato, personally, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't know what your take on that is. So it's, for me, again, going back to answer the question properly, cheese, a little bit of onion, ketchup, mayo, and mustard. For me, is a good burger that can travel, that can taste good, taste well. If I'm at the restaurant or I'm at the place and I'm going to eat it, I will add lettuce and tomato. I do enjoy lettuce and tomato.
A burger is a game of textures.
Yeah.
It's a game of flavors and textures. It's a party in the mouth that starts with what are the textures, what are the flavors, and most importantly, something we forget about, which we're talking about now, is the temperatures.
Yeah.
So going all the way from a very hot grilled meat, all the way to a very cold tomato or lettuce, that is balanced and needs to be very cold to lower its coldness to a certain balance where in contact with the meat would be not hot, not warm, not cold, but something that is pleasant to enjoy.
Pleasant is the right word.
And this is what happens to burger wrapped with aluminum. So you take your tomatoes, very cold, and lettuce. You finish your stuff, you put them all together and wrap them in aluminum foil. 10 minutes later, your tomato is still cold, your meat is still hot, and then when you enjoy it, your cheese has melted.
Yeah.
Ketchup on top, or
I was just gonna ask, your condiments on the bottom, and I've explored this a lot in our shop. I have to admit, I haven't mastered which one, or let's say formed an opinion, but I think I have, let's say 51% this way, which is the bottom you start with lettuce. Why? I found, if it's the last thing between the beef hits the lettuce, it slides. It's a ski slope. It's a wet napkin that just slides. Your tomato, if you're having tomato, goes on top of the lettuce. 2 or a 1 nice beef steak, you put the meat on it, it stabilizes. This is what I found works well. That's the 51%. I'm accustomed to having them on top. You bite down from tomato, or pickle, tomato, lettuce, beef. You get the problem of the wetness of the bun. So I don't think maybe later I'll let you know sometime in the future, but as of now, we do the lettuce on the bottom and the tomato on top, the burger, if there's an onion and pickle, on top. Ketchup and mayo, we actually put it on both. And sometimes we put it on the beef itself directly. We put it on the griddle directly because it kind of just again, that absorbing properties. Burger sauce or no burger sauce?
Let me get back to you on this one. So, chef speaking, you've analyzed it from a chef perspective. Let me tell you from a food blogger perspective or foodie perspective. What I want to enjoy and what I look at is what happens in the mouth and not what happens in my hands.
Yeah.
So what happens in the mouth is when you bite everything goes in between the tongue and the palate and starts touring around. What do I want my palate to feel first? Sweetness? No, this is why ketchup is on the bottom. Mayonnaise? Probably. Bottom or not. Lettuce? Okay. So, not to complicate the answer, is when you take everything, I would spread things between the lower and the upper one and keep the meat in the middle for the balance that happens in the mouth. Lets me feel every single ingredient without it being very empowering.
Yeah.
So I would never mix mayo and ketchup together, so I would put them separately. I would never add 2 tomatoes. I would never add 2 lettuce. Meat is in the middle. Never let the bun, the patty touch the bun because the juices would be absorbed by the bun and it would be soggy. So lots of things would happen, so I can feel it. And exactly when I go to any Lebanese restaurant, if they do not open up the flatbread, it's a fail, big fail. And if I have this discussion with the owners or chefs, and why don't you open it? And the answer is, why would I? Man, you have to. It's very important because when you bite into it, having 2 pieces of bread in the mouth has a different feel than having one sticky, thick piece of flatbread that's chewy. So opening it up lets air enters around. So that air effect that happens in a burger, where does air come in? How do ingredients stick or not together? So cheese is made to stick 2 buns between each other. You would not put a cheese up and a cheese below. But would you put a lettuce in the middle? Would you put a cheese stuck to a lettuce? No. So all of these are kind of texture games that are very important.
Yeah. As we said so far, for ours, I think we got 9 out of 10, if I can use that ratio. Well, I'm going to try 1 and 1, which is the ketchup and the mayo, and reverse it. But what you said in a short way is when you bite, you're getting a balance of what you're putting on the top. For us, it's just a little bit of onion and pickle, meat. So you got your meat, and then your meat gets complemented with the tomato and the lettuce and the bun. So bun, the 2 condiments, meat, the 2 condiments, bun.
So you said burger sauce.
Makes sense. Sorry?
You said burger sauce.
Burger sauce, yes. What are you fan, not a fan, on only particular burgers that have them or on all the burgers? I found I'm going to answer a little bit about us. I found people tend to like it a lot, especially in our shop. They put it on everything. This is going to sound disgusting. They asked me to put it on pizza. They put it on everything. And I mean everything. So let your mind imagine. So obviously with the fries and the burger, but they really enjoy that burger sauce. And I think it has to do with our sauce. It's a homemade scratch sauce. We've really mastered it. And if you have a chance to try it, do it. The balance between sweet and savory. There's a really good balance between the pickle juice. Obviously there's pickle juice in there and there's diced pickles and whatnot, and the other ingredients that we use. So they actually prefer it. Let it be told. I don't like it as much. I'm a traditionalist. I like ketchup, mayo, and mustard. So that's me. I don't know about you.
It's sometimes you would go in and say, I don't like it, and then you need to remind yourself that we have a Big Mac, and what makes a Big Mac is a Big Mac sauce.
It's the sauce, yeah.
So back to lots of original sauces that made it what it is. Raising Cane is famous with it for its sauce. Roadster back then in Lebanon had the 1000 Island sauce which made it famous. Big Mac created that Big Mac sauce, and so on and so forth. And then they created the cocktail sauce and others.
The shrimp.
So, in my opinion, I'm more into mayonnaise alone, mustard alone, ketchup alone. I need to feel the 3 ingredients in my mouth. But whenever I'm having a Big Mac, I like the Big Mac sauce, especially with
standard.
My fries. Yeah,
standard operating procedure. It comes with it. Yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite sauces ever is the Raising Cane sauce, which has been created no garlic, no onions, to be enjoyed with chicken. I would love to have a bit of it, or probably think of taking some and probably do a burger with it.
Onto a burger, yeah. That could be, yeah. It's
so burgers. If you take the different ingredients that you have, so bun, condiments, sauces, patty, etc., and multiply 100 by 100 by 100 minimum, or XXXXX. There are thousands of ways of doing a burger. And what makes a burger, what makes a burger famous? Is it the trend, or is it really because it's great? What do you think? So some burgers around the world, and I can tell you a list of them that are, for me, inedible, are very famous and whoa.
I mean, look, we all know marketing, advertising plays a huge role in pushing the trends. So if it's everywhere and it's top of mind, and you get that, I hate this word, but I have kids, FOMO, people want to try it. Let's say my thought is, you can try it once, but would you go back? Would you have it again? That's a big gauge for me on anything when it comes to like food. I've tried it, great. So basically, would I come back? Am I a repeat customer? Would I order the same thing? And a lot of the fad or trend restaurants enjoy the first moment of truth, which is the first influx of somebody trying it for the first time. But the real test is, do they come back? Do they talk about it? Do they tell somebody to come back? They probably, if they enjoyed it, they'll tell somebody. But there's a line, they enjoyed it and they told somebody, and then would they go back for it? This is where I think a lot of those things play to the rule of that kind of help, that support. But yeah, for me.
So burgers have been adapted along the way from normal American style condiments to black truffle, to truffle oil, caviar, different kind of cheeses and expensive cheeses, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
What are the new modern things that come to mind?
Well, pastrami. Pastrami on a burger. Definitely cheeses. A lot of experiments with different aged cheese, goat cheese, various Parmesan cheese, so hard cheese, soft cheeses, for sure is up there. Truffle, as you said, the different truffles, whether it's real truffle and you're shaving it, or you have the truffle oil infused, just like Parmesan fries. Truffle Parmesan fries, it's there. It's mainly supported with sweet potato fries. So they come and go, and a lot of the establishments will have that on their menu. If they have an extensive menu of burgers, and it's not just that one classic burger, they would have at least something that tends as well, because it is intriguing. When you look at it, ooh, that's interesting, never had that. So they capture that moment, and if it works, it works. So I'm not, I don't oppose of having any of these things, but again, there's a line, going back to our reference earlier in one of the episodes, the over-the-top can doing it, maybe you'll try it once, it's not my go-to for me, I wouldn't do that.
Any ketchup or a specific brand?
Grew up on Heinz, that's for sure. I can drink Libby's. I can drink it. Put it on ice and I'll have it. So,
exactly. I wanted to reach that point to tell you that Heinz has been developed for the Americans and for burgers.
Yeah.
It's stickier and sweeter than other.
Thickness also, if you notice the right one. So, because not all Heinz are created equal. There are some Heinz in this region that does not work. And I look at it, and if I find out that's where it is, I actually actively don't. And
then I'm not sure if Libby's is better for burgers or it's the ketchup of our childhood.
Fries. Good for fries.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think it does play a little bit of a role.
How many times have you opened up that glass bottle and had all the ketchup on your burger and 100%. Then started cleaning it up?
Yes. A tip from a beautiful little shout out waitress from Sheila Finch, wherever you're out there, my college friend. She used to work at a place called Schooner and Later in California. She actually introduced me kind of into this Thousand Island sort of. They had a wonderful thick burger with Thousand Island. I fell in love with it. And when we were having ketchup, we were having trouble. Not the plastic squeezy, but the glass one. You shake it, you do it, and you have hand motions. It's not really coming out because it is a thick ketchup. The way to do it properly is you flip it, you look at the Heinz, the 57. There's a little 57 on there. You take your palm and you just tap it at an angle. Tap it 1, 2, 3. By the fourth one, it comes out. And it works like a charm. Wow. I'm not joking. Try it today, on the glass one. The 57 is exactly the right point at the angle, and you tap. You don't do it from the bottom. You do it from the neck of the 57, and it comes out perfectly.
Mustard are not created equal.
Mustard was not created equal.
There is nothing called mustard for a burger. It's what kind of mustard you like. Do you like the French one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
French's, that is not even French.
Which is French's, yes.
Do you like French mustard? Do you like Savora? Do you like Amora? Do you like Heinz? So mustard come in different flavors.
Yeah.
You can go all the way from a very hard mustard, French quality mustard that is not made for a burger, all the way to a sweet vinegar style mustard made for hot dogs, Heinz or whatever. So all of these two, so all the two extremes, whenever you're using a mustard, you need to understand your mustard.
Yeah.
One of the best, the favorite, sweet, not traditional Dijon mustard, called Savora mustard.
Yep.
It's a bit sweeter, creamier, spreadable, beautiful for burgers. You can go all the way to Maxime's
I
style,
know Maxime's,
mustard. Heinz is good and gives that
zing,
something.
Bite, yeah. French's for me, I'm accustomed to French's. What's the other Dijon, which we use actually in the shop for some of our dishes? It's a famous one, French. It's very famous. I forgot. Anyways, but Dijon, also is wonderful. But I think Dijon overpowers it a bit, especially if you've got your sort of classic
better
taste.
with cheese, salmon, meat.
Yeah.
But a burger needs to have a certain balance.
Correct.
Cheese. How do you choose your cheese for a burger? That is the $1,000 question.
You Google it, you do it. American cheese, bar none. Everybody says it. Why? Because of the melting factors. Then you have the camp that it's not cheese, it's plastic. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? We lit it. It doesn't melt. What's going on? Well, first of all, you're just doing butane. So for all you guys, it's been debunked. It's good enough cheese for the burger. So American cheese for sure. But I do enjoy on a thick burger, aged cheddar, or even let's say a milder cheese, a provolone, depending on what kind of added condiment I'm gonna do, so it doesn't interact so much, and you're just still getting the beef flavor. But for me, I like
not the mozzarella.
No, I don't. I gotta tell you this. Came from the States, straight in the '90s. Mm-hmm. My buddy, George, wherever you are right now, from the north, took me to a famous place, and I was coming from the States, California, and Lebanon was just getting out of its situation, and fell in love with Lebanon, of course. And he took me to a really cool diner, pub kind of place called Crepaway. The first Crepaway, all the way there. We would go there and, just cause havoc. Roger, the bartender, hates us. And I ordered a mozzarella burger. I took a bite. Okay, it slipped. Fine, it slipped. I took another bite. Mm-hmm. I opened it up. It's a square, pattied mozzarella, deep fried with breaded. Told the guy, where's the burger? Where's the beef? It's a mozzarella burger, sir. What do you mean? Where's the beef? No beef. That was the funniest story. And I was like, I'm just eating pure mozzarella. So that's my mozzarella story. No, I don't really like mozzarella. I think it's too mild. It's as if you don't put anything on it.
Too sweet.
Yeah.
More for pizzas.
Yeah, exactly.
And manaish.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we talked about the cheese. We talked about the bun. We talked about the condiments. Pickles or no pickles?
Pickles.
What kind of pickles?
So American pickles in the sense. Dill for me. Sandwich pickles for me, which are the more sweeter side, is on the sandwiches. So a roast beef sandwich or any other kind of sandwich, I like it. But a dill pickle, because I feel the sharpness and the tanginess helps offset the fat. So it balances out. I'm leaning more towards, by the way, the pickle not in the burger. So spear, you eat your burger and you have a bite of the pickle. I find it more pleasant, let's say, versus having it's
like
not a rule.
A sandwich and a cucumber.
Yeah, exactly.
Never inside it.
And never fails. Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely pickles. Camp pickles for me.
So we have an answer about our favorite burger. Your, again, favorite beef mix?
Beef mix is, when in doubt, chuck. A nice, don't go below or above 80%, so you have at least 20% fat. If you can do 70, is great. Otherwise, you can do a little bit of a mix between, again, I really like chuck, because chuck gives you the solidness that you're talking about, and another cut, whether it's brisket, whether it's a short rib, to give you a little bit more.
Last question, top of mind, burger that comes to mind now, special something that happened in your
Five
life?
Guys. Five Guys.
I've had one of my favorite burgers ever. It was created. It's not on any menu. We have created it. One of my friends comes all the way from Italy, same day with that big piece of black truffle, double cheeseburger, aged cheddar, and he just puts all of it. Yes, all of it.
Oh my goodness.
On it, and then it was my first time in my life where I enjoyed black truffle burger and felt how black truffle adds to a burger. And on that same day, I understood that black truffle has a flavor. Truffle oil has a different flavor that is way too synthetic.
And white, no? Also
Black,
white.
black.
And white also has a different
Definitely.
profile.
So when someone goes into and says truffle oil is not truffle. Truffle oil is a synthetic flavor of what truffle is. If you want to feel, enjoy, understand truffle, go smell, go bite into a truffle-shaped truffle. Truffle oil is off the shelf, something that is. And never mix them together exactly like never mix garlic and onions. Burger Unscripted, amazing discussions. We'll see you in the next episodes.